You know what time it is? It's time for our final speaker. Storage in DR. Two words you never thought you'd hear together. Well, you never know when you're going to need DR, and you should always optimize your DR storage. Here to help us optimize your DR is Cynthia Santos, a solutions architect at N2WS. Cynthia is a multi-cloud SA for AWS and Azure, specializing in backup and DR with 10 plus years experience implementing and designing IT solutions. Please join me in welcoming Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia.
Hi, John. Nice to see you. And I've been sitting here in the background, and I love the magic trick. I was not expecting that. That was amazing.
All right, Cynthia, the floor is all yours.
Let me go ahead and share my screen. 1 second.
Sure. And Cynthia, I will be back in about 15 minutes for some Q&A, and then you got to stay on because we're going to be doing our final magic trick and for the Xbox.
Ooh, okay. All right. Well, in that case, let's go ahead and get started. So, I am the last session of today, and today has been all about optimization. And this is a topic that comes up so often when I'm having customer calls. All of the conversations revolved around this idea of improvement, of optimization. Basically, the question is, how can I manage my AWS storage better? So that is the story that I have for you today. I'm going to show you different strategies to lower your AWS storage bill and make your application perform better. And I will also show you how to manage your backups and improve your disaster recovery plan. The first strategy that I have for you today is all about making the right storage choice. It's very important to understand that AWS has different types of storage options, and choosing the best one is key when you want to meet a balance of cost and performance. We have block storage, object, file, and archive, and each of them has different features and pricing models. So let's go through some examples. We have S3 for large unstructured data. If you need low latency access to data, you're going to select EBS. Then we have file systems. We have EFS and FSX, depending on your business and your operating system. And then Glacier for archive data. Choosing the right storage option is about finding a balance of cost, performance, durability, and availability. The next strategy is all about access patterns. You're going to consider your data access patterns and retention needs. You're going to choose the most cost effective storage that meets your business needs. So, how do you choose? We have two options. Either you know what those access patterns are, or you don't know. If you know how your data behaves and where your access patterns are, you can place infrequently accessed data in S3 Frequent Access or Glacier. These offer you cheaper storage than S3 Standard. And if you don't know and your access pattern varies, you're going to let AWS do the heavy lifting for you and use intelligent tiering. This S3 storage class monitors how often data is accessed and automatically moves the data to the most cost effective tier. Accounting for access patterns equals lower cost per gigabyte. Next, we're going to decide where we're going to place our data. So if you are designing an application, you have to select what region you're going to use to store your data. And the cost to store data varies depending on the region. You pay for storing objects in S3, and what you pay depends on the object size, how long you store it, and the storage class. We have 6 different storage classes, and each of them has different pricing, time commitments, and retrieval fees. For example, if you pay a monthly fee in S3 Intelligent Tiering, you can pay a monthly fee to store your data. But you have to pay monitoring fee, automation, but you don't pay retrieval fees. So to best make a choice, your best friend is going to be the S3 pricing page and the pricing calculator. You have to take into account also other metrics that are used. Consider all of 6 metrics if you want to balance the best cost and performance. And then the last strategy to optimize your data is all about applying lifecycle rules. S3 lifecycle rules are bucket policies that let you take two types of actions. You can take transition actions and you can take expiration actions. Transition actions are going to let you define when it's time to move data to another S3 class. For example, you can choose to move data to infrequent access after 30 days or archive data to glacier. And then the second action is expiration. And this is all about deleting objects when they expire. So in summary, with S3 lifecycle rules, you can tell Amazon how to transition objects to less expensive storage classes, how to archive them, and how to delete them. But how do you know when it's time? How do you know if you need to transition your data to cheaper storage classes? How do you know if you need to expire your data? So to get metrics and to get data to this S3 lifecycle rules, you're going to use the metrics provided by Storage Lens. Typically, when I talk to customers and they're starting in the cloud, they have very few S3 buckets. They have a couple of S3 buckets, typically in the same account. But as they grow, this storage becomes hard to manage. You have many accounts, you have many regions, you have many S3 buckets, and you need to understand how this storage is used across all of them. Storage Lens is going to help you. It's going to give you an analytic way. It's going to give you a dashboard that you can use to gain visibility into the way that all of your data is being used and all of this activity. It can help you answer questions like, what is my largest S3 bucket? Do I have any buckets that don't have transition lifecycle rules? Do I have any S3 buckets that don't have lifecycle rules to set to expire objects? Make it easy for you to manage your storage. So now we step through this journey where we selected the right storage choice, we placed it in the right region, we can monitor our data, and all of that is going to give you better performance and better cost. So congrats, you have a good idea of how to optimize your storage in AWS. But what comes next? It's important that we account for failure. What if my volume is deleted? What if my file system fails? What if someone goes in and tries to delete all of my data? So the next step in our journey is going to be implementing a disaster recovery plan. And when you think disaster recovery, you're going to start taking backups. These backups could be snapshots or S3 archives, but now you have a second set of data that you need to manage and you need to optimize. And that is where N2WS comes in to help. N2WS is a cloud-native backup and DR solution. It's very easy to deploy, it's very easy to manage, and has great features like file-level recovery, cost exploring, reporting, VPC backup, and so much more. I wish we had enough time to do a demo because it can really help with this optimization efforts by giving you easy way to back up your data and to do disaster recovery for multiple AWS resources. So the goal is to back up your data often, but optimize your storage cost. How can N2WS help? It can help by making sure that you store your backups effectively. EBS and RDS snapshots can be sent to any S3 and Glacier tier for better pricing and more durable storage. And we can give you easy lifecycle management. You're able to set up specific retention periods with custom scheduling that are going to help you meet your disaster recovery and backup needs. You can use one backup policy to lifecycle all of your data. A typical use case that I have with my customers is daily backups that they're kept in EBS snapshots, weekly backups that are copied over to S3 standard and retained for 1 month, and monthly backups are archived to Glacier for 1 year. Remember that for best results, it's always good to back up often, store your backups effectively, and that is going to give you quick recovery and storage savings. Key features here are EBS to S3, any snap archive, and RDS to S3. The best part of N2WS, one of the favorite features across all of our customers, is that it gives you a global view across multiple regions and multiple accounts. I deal with a lot of MSPs. These are really large accounts, and they manage many AWS organizations and many AWS accounts that don't belong to the same AWS organization. With N2WS, you can manage all of your backups across different accounts, different resources, and different regions. When you first log in to the N2WS platform, you see a dashboard. And this dashboard has a consolidated view of all of your AWS accounts, your backup policies, your DR archives, your S3 copies. All of the information that you need is right there displayed when you first log in. You can make a backup policy for multiple resources and have a cost estimate for all of your backups. And once we do start taking backups, we're going to track low and high EVS volume usage, and you're going to receive alerts for over or under provision volumes. So key features here are Cost Explorer, volume usage, and reporting. And then once we've created the copies and we're taking backups often, it's time to recover. And this is where we really shine because we give you ways to optimize your recovery and do so efficiently and in an easy way. N2WS gives you all kinds of recovery options. We have flexible recoveries. We can recover files. We can recover entire folders. We can recover instances, volumes, or entire databases and file systems. You can select what type of recovery works best for you. Let's say that you want to retrieve one file. In your case, file level recovery is going to work faster and is going to be more effectively. It also comes with versioning. Let's say that you are tasked to recover a file from today, but you would like to see a couple of different versions. You can select how many versions of a specific file you get to see and to recover, all within the N2WS dashboard. No need to provision an entire instance or volume or recreate an entire file system. And then we have VPC capture and cloning. This feature, it's not immediately obvious why it's going to help you save money. It's about networking. How is this going to help me reduce my cost? Let's say that you recover your data. Let's say that you recover your volume. Let's say that you recover your file system. How are you going to access that data? It's very important that you take into account connectivity. So when planning for disaster recovery, always account for how your services are going to connect. VPC capture and cloning lets you save all of your VPC configuration and recreate it into a different region or a different account. And you can also use it as a backup. Let's say somebody goes in and deletes security groups, deletes your routing tables. You can use this feature to recreate your VPC. I really wish that we had time to do a full-blown demo. We have so many other things, so many other features that we want to cover. But the main idea is that if you take into account all of the information from today, and you use all of the different techniques that we have covered throughout the session, and you leverage N2WS and you implement a solid backup and disaster recovery plan, you're going to optimize your storage cost and the cost to keep your backups. You're going to be able to meet your recovery points. You're going to be able to meet all of your retention needs. So N2WS can help, whether you're looking to reduce cost, increase efficiency, or improve your goal. It's easy to use. We have a free trial, and this free trial comes with help. So one of us on the engineering side for N2WS will help you set it up, and you can take advantage of all of these cost savings completely free. So hope that you enjoyed the session and that you found this information useful. And if you have questions, we can have some time.
Thank you, Cynthia. I really appreciate it. Now, we do have some time for some questions. I'd like to first, everybody, I want to see some emojis for Cynthia's session and some of the information that she provided. And they're flying in like crazy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for sharing it out. I wish I had a tally. In fact, afterwards, I might have to figure out how to tally up all the emojis for each of the sessions for a little competitiveness. But so, Cynthia, some of the questions that I actually came up in the chat is, can I archive my existing EBS snapshots that were previously created?
So that's a good question. When I do demos for customers, they really love the solution. They're like, great, I love it. I want to start archiving data into S3 for storage savings. But I have been taking backups, whether manually or creating by scripts, and I would like to save money on those backups as well. So we have a feature that's very cool. It's called Any Snap Archive because any snapshot could be imported. And we can import that snapshot to any S3 tier and accommodate all of the retention needs that you have. So if you have to keep it, let's say, for 7 years, that could go directly into Glacier. No need to do hops in the middle, no special product, all of it included. Even if you didn't take the backup with us, we want to help and we want to help you save money.
All right. Another question that came in. How do you access or assess patterns of unique keys? Storage lenses, storage class analysis gives you total request only tiering through into AWS. Works on the highest tier, correct?
So no, we work on all of the different S3 tiers. We have the ability to archive data to standard, infrequent access, intelligent tiering. And in this latest version, we recently introduced something very cool, Glacier Instant Retrieval, that lets you put the data in Glacier, but you can access that data faster. And actually, Anthony talked about this. Whenever you put data in Glacier, the colder that you store it, the kind of the farther back that you push it down the line, then it's going to take a little bit more time to recreate that server, to recreate that volume. So by offering you different options, you can meet any compliance and any recovery point that you have, all of it within the tool.
Nice, nice. I have time for one more question.
Okay.
Let's think through this. And this is actually a good one for RDS. I need to meet compliance requirements for RDS. What's the easiest way to archive RDS to Glacier?
So that's a good one. And I deal with this a lot because we have a cool feature to move those RDS backups into S3. So typically by default, if you take backups on your own, you can only keep it for 35 days. Most of the customers need to keep it for longer, a year, 7 years. And keeping that in snapshots is really pricey. So we have an ability to move that snapshot into S3, any of the tiers that we offer, and it gives you flexible recovery. So RDS to S3 is actually one very popular feature for a large enterprise.